Hello Internet, and I am back from the dead. I've been away for a while on vacation for Christmas and things, but I'm back and ready to get to work clearing out this backlog of videos I have. And to start, we have Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest, Chapter 98. When we last left our heroes, we focused on Haku, who had arrived to fight Wendy and Lily after seemingly taking out Natsu and Lucy and Happy. And he would have a pretty good job of it if it weren't for the fact that he instantly fell in love with Wendy. And also, Irene is still there in Wendy's mind, sort of giving her some advice, specifically clarifying that his plushie ability is just an abnormal magic state that Wendy can counteract with a simple raise spell. However, Haku quickly catches on to Wendy's games after he initially fails to sort of plushify her, and is able to quickly plushify Irene, and Wendy can't use raise on Irene because she has no real body. There's also some little tidbits here and there implying that maybe Irene hasn't quite given up on her plan to take Wendy's body. Maybe, I don't know, a whole lot of places that could potentially go. But then we cut back to Laxus and Irene, as Laxus has been beat up by some technique from Kirine's. We don't really get a lot of details there. But yeah, with all that being said, let's dive right on in to Chapter 98, Enchant. And our picture here is of Happy and Natsu in like traditional clothing. They're at like a shrine with a tiger, which fits next year being Year of the Tiger, I believe. 2022 is like emblazoned above it. Good to see you in 2022. It's very much a New Year's image. By the way, Happy New Year's Eve. It is 10:13 p.m. New Year's Eve where I'm filming this. So yeah, anyway, got our scan later page, and we open where we left off last chapter with Laxus reacting to whatever the fuck happened while we were focusing on Wendy and Haku. As Laxus, you know, on hands and knees, glares up at Irene. What just happened? And Irene just looks at him and does some kind of flash of light that shocks Laxus. Oh, okay, he's just whacking Laxus with his coffin. Oh, I think I know what's going on. He's using his atmospheric manipulation thing, similar to what he was doing, like deflecting the lightning. Maybe with that, he can also, like, disguise things that are in the air? Like, use the air to make it look like the coffin isn't there, maybe? So it looks like nothing's hitting Laxus, but in reality, it's the coffin? I don't know. Just theories I'm tossing out. Anyway, Laxus takes the hit. Was it that coffin he hit me with earlier? But as he's hit with the coffin, we see these, like, after images of Laxus. It's almost reminiscent of the first time in Eden Zero Rebecca consciously used reverse in her fight with Nino. I don't know. We see that again from a different angle, just the images of Laxus going backwards. What? And then the coffin, you know, breaks contact, goes back towards Irene, and Laxus notes, that was... And Irene grabs the coffin and sticks it back on his back. And Irene tells him, when I said I was going to put you in this coffin, that was a joke. And Laxus looks up at him. There's a soul in here already. Okay, no idea what that could mean. The soul of a king. And we see magic power emanating from the coffin. And you'll recall, last time we saw this fight, back in 96, I think, Laxus noticed a sudden magic power after a bit of a back and forth with him and Irene that reminded him of guild arts. And maybe the soul of a king is tied up with that, possibly? I don't know. Laxus just glares at him. And then we move to somewhere else in the cave, back where Haku and Wendy are. Which would fit much more with our chapter title of Enchant, going back to Wendy, who is an enchanter. Anyway, Haku sort of roars at Wendy. Given Haku's crush on Wendy, I'm suddenly reminded of, like, early 2000s emo Roar means I love you in dinosaur jokes. That's definitely what's flitting through my head right now. Though, I am running on very little sleep, so I might be somewhat deranged right now. Anyway, Wendy is not doing too hot. She's taken some hits. She's lost Irene. She can't really save Irene. And Lily just presses, Wendy, what was that doll that came from your body? And again, Lily, I think, would have at least heard of Irene, and he definitely heard Irene being mentioned last chapter. So, I'm not sure what exactly Lily is thinking here, but he should be kind of cautious of, you know, Urza's evil dragon mom sticking around in Wendy's head. But Wendy just sort of brushes him off. It's a long story, so I'll explain another time. More importantly, he's stronger than he looks, this kid. And Lily brings it on his buff form, wielding his sword, which, now that I finished Rave Master, I can say I've never noticed, has a kind of inverted musica symbol, the little eighth note on there, that old man musica used on all of his forgeries. Or not his forgeries, his forging. There we go. Anyway, just random tidbit I finally noticed decades late. But anyway, Lily books up, I know. Let's do this! So I've said before, Lily becoming mascotified is one of my least favorite parts of all of Fairy Tail. So I'm hopeful he gets to actually do something cool here. And Haku just notes, whoa, that kitty cat can fight too. But this fight is for me and Wendy, so stay out of it. Oh no, we just had a chance to have Lily do something. But he throws his magic power at Lily, shocking him. And instead of turning into a plush, Lily notes some kind of string being deflected by his blade. What is this? Yarn? You crafty little... And he tries to slice it, but it covers his sword. It won't cut, and it's twisting around me. And the yarn creates a fist or something that, like, uppercuts Lily. Whoa! And Wendy calls, Lily! But Haku then lunges towards Wendy, not letting her help him out. Rawr! And he readies his own fist. Wendy readies her Sky Dragon's fist. And the two clash. We see, like, the physical shockwave spreading around them. Cool shit there. But Haku wins, and Wendy is sent flying. Kya! And Haku's super excited. Yay! Me and Wendy touched hands. Slurp, slurp. He's salivating at the thought. Wendy sort of spins and catches herself, like flying right now. What just happened? He sent me flying. And Haku tells her, the white tiger dragon is fast, strong, and, super fast! Rawr! I do like that little, like, that cute little, he clearly thought he had a third thing, but definitely didn't. We have in that line. That's a cute little bit. But Wendy just goes right back on the attack. Sky Dragon's wing attack! But it looks like Haku is not in the wing attack. Yeah, he got out of the way, shocking Wendy. Don't worry, this won't hurt a bit. And he spreads out that same yarn he used on Lily earlier to create an army of plushies. Doll parade! Shocking Wendy, so many plushies! And they all kind of dogpile her. Wah! 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 I'm ticklish, stop it! And they're all just sort of tickling her. It's not really doing a lot of damage. Haku just laughs, hehehe, and Wendy screams, Kya! Don't crawl up my clothes, wah! I'm not a big fan of that image, Majima. Okay. Anyway, Haku just grins. You can't move, can you? Does that mean I win? And Lily calls back, Wendy! And Wendy struggles up against the plushies. Grr! These plushies have incredible strength! And Haku takes that as Wendy accepting defeat. Yay! From now on, you'll be my girlfriend! Hehehe. And like I do like, though, you know, we've normally kind of been seeing, sort of, two different sides of Haku. You know, the love-struck little boy and, like, the evil Diablos member. And that little ha-ha-ha on the top of 15 It's kind of the first time we've explicitly seen those two sides collide, which is interesting. I'm not sure that's building to anything at all, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on. Wendy just sort of keeps on struggling. Oh! And then one of the plushies, this little horned penguin thing, uppercuts a dog plushie, shocking Haku, and sort of does this pose and knocks all the plushies away. Either that's Irene, or Wendy's using the thing she used against Irene after Irene did the same thing to her, and enchanting her consciousness onto one of those plushies. I'm not sure. It's one of the two. Anyway, Haku reacts, huh? One of my plushies is rebelling? Why? And the plushie just tells him, Enchanter. And Wendy realizes that, yeah, that is Irene. Irene-san, an enchanter can bestow objects with power and attributes. And if you're a high enchanter like myself, you can even imbue objects with your own personality. So yeah, we're seeing it's basically the exact same thing she tried to do on Wendy way back when. Shocking Haku. You mean you already separated your personality from the doll back then? And Irene just thinks, I can multiply it further too. Oh, she's about to take over the entire doll army. Yeah, all of them taken over with Irene's consciousness. That's more than we saw her use on Wendy back in the war. Though admittedly, she didn't need to use this kind of thing on Wendy, as there was only one of her. Anyway, Haku just sort of stunned. Whoa, my plushies! And Irene just calls, charge! Wah! And they all sort of go to dogpile on Haku. And Irene calls out, Wendy, now! Right! And Wendy kicks off. We see the wind start to like swirl around Haku. And he's caught in a tornado. What is this wind? And we see Wendy going into her Dragon Force mode. No matter how fast you are, you can't escape. A cage of wind. Dragon Slayer, secret art. Shattering light, sky drill. And she just blasts Haku with full force sky magic, seemingly defeating him. We see, Haku is clearly in pain, beat the fuck up, maybe knocked out. Irene smiles. The yarn goes slack on Lily, who breathed a sigh of relief, still not contributing. Mashima, let Lily do shit. I miss him. But Haku falls. And Lily turns to Wendy. You did it, Wendy. But to take on such an opponent on your own. But Wendy tries to sort of deflect. No, it was Irene-san who saved me again. But Irene, now seemingly back in her kind of spirit state, turns to Wendy. Haven't you noticed? I hardly did anything. Huh? And Irene tells her, we won entirely through your magic power. That was a multi-body enchantment. Your magic served as the mediation. In other words, you are already a high enchanter type wizard. To be continued. So I thought she was already a high enchanter when she enchanted her consciousness onto Irene. When Irene thought she'd taken over Wendy, and then Wendy did the same thing to her. But maybe I was wrong. I don't remember the exact terminology used in that arc. That was like 5 years ago now. God. Time just continues to pass, One of those things you don't realize till it's happening. But anyway, let's look at this chapter. Because it's a lot of fun. As I said last time, this was, and always will be a Wendy Marvel Stan account. And I'm here for her kicking tons of ass. But first, let's talk a little bit about the Keyring stuff. I'm not sure there's too much to say. Too much I can make as a definitive answer. But there's clearly something going on with the coffin. And I don't think it's just he makes it invisible with his atmosphere magic. Because I think those reflections or after images or before images or whatever they are of Laxus is the key to what's going on here. I'm not sure what that is, but I think that's where our answer sort of lies. But then, yeah, we have Keyring sort of, this coffin is already full with the soul of a king. I don't know who that could be referring to, unless maybe it's the original atmosphere dragon he must have eaten at some point. I'm not sure. Maybe the coffin is the real source of his powers? I'm not sure what that would have to do with the before images, though. It's all kind of confuddled there for now. Anyway, meanwhile, we had that Haku fight. And it is a lot of fun. Again, mad that Lily gets the shaft again, because he's got nothing to do since fucking Edelus. But Wendy is great. I love Wendy. Wendy's just a fantastic character. And seeing her sort of, just seeing the limits, or the extent of her growth, both in her sort of recovering from that punch real quickly, her going toe-to-toe with Haku, even before Irene makes her play, if it weren't for the army of plushies, I think Wendy was kind of even matched for Haku, almost. But that is what ends up happening, is the army of plushies, which gives Irene the edge she needs to sort of take control. Though again, seemingly with Wendy's magic. I'm not quite sure how that works. Because she says on the last page, that was a multi-body enchantment. Your magic served as the mediation. Is she saying that, like, the only way Irene can do magic is through Wendy or something? Because, like, I thought Irene had her own magic, but seemingly not. Maybe it's tied into the fact she was supposed to be, like, permanently asleep post-Alderaan arc, and was only kind of woken up in Enchanter or something. I'm not sure. But either way, Wendy has gotten much, much more powerful. She's really growing as a wizard, and we stan. And of course, she gets to pull out her Dragon Force again, to use that Shattering Light Sky Drill to take out Haku and win the day. And yeah, with that, the first of the Dragon Slayer Knights have fallen, to, of course, the queen herself, Wendy Marvel. And yeah, that's kind of it. That's it for 2021. That's it for this fight. And honestly, it's a great fucking time. It's just good. That's all I can say. So yeah, I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, do whatever makes you happy, And as always, your life is your own, okay? Bye!